What's up, everyone? My name is Fredo Cervantes. It is July 18th. It's Tuesday. You know what that means? It's time for the breaks.
These
are
the breaks.
These are the breaks.
You know what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are the breaks. Yes, it is a beautiful Tuesday right now. It's hot in Los Angeles, ladies and gentlemen. It's hot. I'm hot right now because if you're not watching this show right now, I'm telling you this right now, there is a #1 TV show right now trending throughout the world. It is football season. I'm getting an ESPN alert right now, but that's not important. You know what's important right now is you go to Netflix and you go watch #1 trending show in America, which is called Quarterbacks.
Boom.
Yes, Quarterbacks is the #1 show in America right now on Netflix. It is amazing. Once I got the word about it, I didn't even pay attention for the first week it came out. But then they kind of told me about it, and I was like, wait a second. How am I now watching Quarterbacks? Especially when you got 3 of the best young quarterbacks in the league right now. And technically, this is like a docuseries. This gives you insight of what a quarterback got to go through day in and day out from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. Of course, every quarterback got a job to do. It's to get the ball to the other guy. But they all have a same goal. They're trying to win a Super Bowl. One of the 3 quarterbacks featured in this new show, Quarterbacks on Netflix, is Patrick Mahomes, who ended up going all the way and winning the Super Bowl. So if you go back and watch Quarterbacks, you will be seeing everything from week 1 of training camp to the end of the Super Bowl season and how he prepares himself every single day to go out there and compete. And when I got a chance to see this, and I got a chance to see, I was like, you know what? I want to see how Patrick Mahomes prepares himself for the big games, how he goes about it, and how he gets help from his family, because it's kind of hard to be a quarterback. Believe it or not, that is the toughest and the hardest position in all of sports. It is pretty dangerous. I mean, the quarterback is the target at the end of the day. There are hundreds of players weighing over 300 pounds chasing the quarterback, trying to break his head, trying to break his arm, give him another concussion, which we know that concussion is pretty serious in football. But Patrick Mahomes, it's another animal, and you can see it with your own eyes and see how he prepares every game. He's also a father, he's a son, he's a brother, and he's a leader to the Kansas City Chiefs. And when you look at the other types of players, you can see the difference from superstar, all-star, and mid-level. When you look at, no disrespect to Marcus Mariota. I have some love and respect for him. He's a great guy. Nothing against him, man. Nothing personal. He's a great football player straight out of Oregon. But he's been in the league for about maybe 6 years now, and he hasn't really proven that he was that Heisman Trophy winner back in 2013, 2014 with Oregon. And now you see him kind of develop into a backup quarterback for the past few seasons with the Oakland Raiders and the Las Vegas Raiders. And then now he got the opportunity this past season to be a starter in Atlanta. You get the opportunity to see it firsthand and see how Marcus Mariota treated that situation, how he got benched to now being, a sideline member and watching the other quarterback, the rookie, take his job. So it's very, very interesting how this TV show called Quarterbacks on Netflix is the #1 show right now. So I want everyone to go watch it. Hit me up on social media. Let me know how you like it, because I guarantee you're going to love it. I mean, I sat through 5 episodes in a row, and I forgot they're like 40 minutes each. So I sat through 5 in a row over the weekend, and it was just amazing because I'm like, I'm not going into Monday Night Fredo and the breaks this upcoming week and not talk about the quarterbacks. So the third quarterback featured on that show was one of my favorite quarterbacks. He is a veteran, a leader, a Pro Bowler, multiple-time Pro Bowler for the Minnesota Vikings, Kirk Cousins. We know that Kirk Cousins has that kind of, he reminds me a lot of James Harden in the NBA. Because when we look at James Harden, we look at all-star type player, a player that can be clutch at moments, not at all times, but at moments he can be clutch. And there's times that James Harden just plays no defense, but there's times that James Harden is hitting 5 threes in a row and bringing your team back into the game. So that's the type of player that Kirk Cousins is. You know, he's 33 years old. He's right in the middle of his career there. He's trying to trend into the right direction, which is something he's been trying to do for 10 years. But hey, sooner than later, you will get there. That opportunity will become available to you, maybe like a Joe Flacco in the early 2000s with the Baltimore Ravens. So if Kirk Cousins maintains his focus, maintains the support system that he has in Minnesota, because it's very important for any athlete to have the support system from your team, the fan base, the city, and every single fan of yours. Like, if you don't have the support, and you don't feel loved by your team or your fan base, you're not going to want to give it all in practice and in game sessions. So I understand that Kirk Cousins, I mean, Minnesota is your family. Minnesota is your new home. Like, the love they give you for your performances you've had in the last 5 years in Minnesota, you should be grateful for the opportunities and for the love that the fans in Minnesota are giving you. Because believe it or not, Kirk, I've been one of those, watching your career, seeing how great you are in certain games, but when it comes to those Monday Night Football games, those Sunday Night Football, those primetime games, you're not the same, Kirk. You're not the same. But hey, at the end of the day, we can all watch what Kirk Cousins does every single day. We can watch what Patrick Mahomes does every day, and we can certainly watch what Marcus Mariota is doing for the Atlanta Falcons if you watch the quarterbacks on Netflix. But when we return here, I'm really going to talk about a little more football, all right? Because we're right around the corner. We're a week away from training camp, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe that? I just remember watching Patrick Mahomes winning the Super Bowl. Now it's the NFL season around the corner. Whew. There's 3 players that might not have a job sooner than later. And I will let you know when we return here on These Are the Breaks.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
These are the breaks, ladies and gentlemen. It is July the 18th. Yes, we are in Los Angeles. It is triple digits out here. It is hot. Stay indoor, get your AC on, and live it up, because you don't want to go outside unless you're going to be sitting sideline in the pool area, drinking a nice beer, because that sounds like a good time right now. But it's not a good time in the NFL for 3 NFL running backs right now, especially we understand that the NFL market for running backs is not the best in the NFL. That is the worst position you can play in the NFL when certain teams don't want to, pay you for what you deserve and what you do out in the field, because the running backs is a hard position. That's maybe one of the hardest ones, right next to being a quarterback. But there are 3 players that had up till yesterday on Monday, they had till 1 o'clock Pacific time to sign an extension with their teams. And guess what? The team said, hell no.
Bye-bye.
We ain't signing no deal. You are being franchise tagged, and no deal is coming along for the 26-year-old Saquon Barkley from the New York Giants, 25-year-old Josh Jacobs from the Las Vegas Raiders, and 26-year-old Tony Pollard from the Dallas Cowboys. 3 running backs did not get the extension that they were expecting, and all 3 running backs took it to Twitter last night, and they have been tweeting along. Especially a supporter of them is Austin Eckler, running back from the Los Angeles Chargers, who was also in the lump right now. He was kind of trying to figure out his new contract after he did request a trade after the season with the Los Angeles Chargers. But Chargers and Austin Eckler had come to an agreement to redo his last season in contract with the Chargers. So, of course, he's getting a lot more incentives depending on his stats this upcoming season. But Austin Eckler did say, and took it to Twitter as well, and showing some support for these 3 running backs. He's saying that the playing level field for, being a running back is not very good, that, the running backs might need to take a step foot forward in trying to put something down the NFL owners and the NFL Players Association, because running backs injuries are very common, very, very common in NFL. But even though injuries are common throughout any sport, but not necessarily the way a running back puts their body in trouble. I mean, every single play they touch the ball, they're getting hit. I mean, you cannot see, because the running back got to get hit in order to end the play. So if the running back is getting hit and hit and hit, especially a guy like Austin Eckler, who leads the league in receptions and touchdowns as a running back, he is getting hit and torture every single day for the past 3 seasons. There is a reason why he's asking for a pay raise. He's only getting $6 million a year right now, when he deserves about 20 to 25 to 30 million at least per year. He's only getting 6 right now. That's how low the market is for running backs right now in the NFL. So Saquon Barkley, 26-year-old from the New York Giants, it's time for you to be like, hey, I want out now. Because if your team, the New York Giants, who drafted you a few years ago, don't value you enough to maybe give you some more money and keep you happy coming to work, especially when you got to report to work in about a week. It's like, what's that feeling like when you got to go to work and, you have to be there. You have to be there if you want to continue getting paid, because if you don't show up, you're not going to get paid. Like, how's that relationship going to be for Saquon in the New York Giants front office? Like, that's going to be pretty awkward. And, I mean, it's the same thing that's going to be happening up in Dallas, with Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard had one of the best surprising seasons for any young player in the NFL, especially after looking at Ezekiel Elliott, kind of have that downfall season for the Dallas Cowboys after being one of the best running backs in the game over the last 5, 6, 7 years. But you look at Tony Pollard, who really took that leadership role as being the everyday running back for the Dallas Cowboys, which, we know that they're America's team. But when you have your offensive coordinator designing you some great plays in Kellen Moore, who is now the offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers, and he will be taking his playbook with him. So Tony Pollard will not be the same under a new offensive coordinator in Dallas. So I can see why Dallas is being like, well, we ain't going to pay you that type of money, because you're not going to get those type of touches that you got last season under Kellen Moore, because Kellen Moore is now with the Chargers and Austin Eckler. Then the other guy, you look at Josh Jacobs. I mean, I think Josh Jacobs, out of these 3 running backs right now that did not get the opportunity to get that contract extension, Josh Jacobs from the Las Vegas Raiders, he's the youngest one of them all. He's 25 years old right now, and he is producing at a high level for the Las Vegas Raiders. He has been maybe one of the most consistent players for the Las Vegas Raiders. So why not pay the man? You know, so there is a problem right there because he's young still, 25 years old. He can still give you another 6-7 years as a running back in the league. And with the Raiders right now, you really got to keep a running back behind Jimmy Garoppolo. You got rid of, of Darren Waller. You shipped him to New York. Then you got rid of Derek Carr. You let him walk away for a bag of peanuts. Now you got Jimmy Garoppolo, the porn star in the NFL that a lot of people is like, hey, put some clothes on, Jimmy. And that's the deal with Jimmy. Jimmy worries too much about himself than the whole team and trying to win. Because if Jimmy wanted to win, he would have won in San Fran. He would have won in New England when given the opportunity, but he doesn't care about winning. He cares about himself. And it sucks. It sucks for Raiders fans having a guy like that in Jimmy Garoppolo because, I mean, how many games are the Raiders really going to win? How many games are they really going to win this next season? I mean, you look at what the Chargers are doing this upcoming season. They got one of the best offensive teams right now. Then you look at the defending champs in the Kansas City Chiefs, and you look at the Denver Broncos as one, the AFC West, where you look at, they got a new coach. They got a Hall of Fame coach. They got a Hall of Fame quarterback in Russell Wilson. They got some more weapons around him, and maybe Russell can elevate his game to another level than, what he was last season, because last season he seemed to be like a bag of trash. Like, I don't know. It was just, his game was just nasty. It was dirty. It was like that. It's like, wait, what happened to you? It's like that type of player that you look at is like, wait, I remember like 2 years ago, you were good. You were a Super Bowl contending player all season long. But now he's like, I don't know. He got paid and he didn't care about working out. He's out there with his wife, Sierra, maybe making some music, maybe making more babies and whatnot because he already got like 3 kids. Future out there, her ex-husband of Sierra, is out there making diss tracks on you, Russell. So Russell Wilson really got to come out this season and explode. Explode because he got so much criticism last season. So much that he has to come out this season, come out strong. But last thing that I'm going to tell you guys right now, peeps, is who's going to come out strong this upcoming season in the NFL before I move on to more NBA basketball and more baseball talk as well, because I do want to touch on some baseball. But Hard Knocks is coming out this upcoming week. Hard Knocks will be dedicating their new hit show on HBO on the New York Jets. So keep your eye out on that because Aaron Rodgers will be headlining Hard Knocks. And we know how great Hard Knocks can be at times. It can be an amazing show, so make sure everyone check that out. But the NFL just ranked right now the top 10 offensive trios in the NFL. And guess who came in second in the top 10 trios in the NFL? It is the LA Chargers and running back Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, and Mike Williams. It lets you know that you got two top wide receivers that you can throw the ball at any given time, score the ball at any given time, clutch moments as well. And then you got Austin Eckler, the leading touchdown scorer and receptionist for the Los Angeles Chargers. So it lets you know that the Chargers are not messing around this season. They're not messing around this season. So make sure everyone stay tuned here on Infanity TV on the breaks as we bring you all of your latest content and analysis on throughout the league. NFL, basketball, WNBA, football, baseball, you name it, we do it. But when I return, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about some basketball here on the breaks.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. Powered by Jesse Brown of Keller Williams.
United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services.
These are the breaks. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here on the breaks. Myself, Fredo Cervantes. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe right now here on the YouTube channel, or if you're watching on any other way you possibly can. And also follow us on Instagram while you're at it, at Infanity Television. And, you know, one thing I do want to talk about right now, which is the NBA, and this is a shot. LeBron James took a shot at Michael Jordan. Yes. A lot of people want to say that, you know, Jordan is the greatest of all time, which I think it is total BS. It is not Jordan. We clearly know that LeBron James is the greatest of all time, especially after everything he's gone through in 20 seasons. He is now heading into his 21st season and will be turning 39 in late December. But LeBron James broke news this weekend after saying that he will be returning number 23 again. Yes, he's leaving number 6. He did say that he is paying respect and he is honoring the retirement number of number 6, Bill Russell, which is being retired throughout the league last season. And, you know, LeBron was not able to change his number last season due to the fact that he needs to give, like, the NBA a 1-year heads up in order for them to approve the number switching and whatnot. But once he said that he was changing it back to 23 because he has so much respect for number 6, rest in peace, the great Bill Russell, but why not give respect to number 23? Like a lot of players right now, a lot of the young guys coming into the league right now who love Michael Jordan and, you know, they respect his game. And, of course, yeah, we can respect his game, but he is not the greatest who boom. I mean, he played 13 and a half seasons. Like, what is that? Like, what's 13 and a half seasons? That's like, I don't know. That's like Caron Butler type. Like, Caron Butler only played like 13, 12 seasons in the league. Like, I need more than 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 seasons. Not 13 and a half seasons, Jordan. So, when LeBron James said, like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go back to 23. I'm going to use 23. And he's going to make that number 23 hang in the rafters because we clearly know that the NBA is not going to retire 23 throughout the league. We clearly know that because there is a lot of players, I mean, including Draymond Green and others who use 23. But number 6, there's nobody in the league no more wearing number 6 after LeBron James announced he is leaving it and, you know, showing respect to the great Russell and now going to number 23. But what does that really mean? Like, does that mean that LeBron is going to go back to being LeBron James, the number 23? Because, you know, the 23 LeBron, it's a whole different deal than number 6 LeBron. You know, we feel that LeBron James, when he was in Miami playing 4 seasons out there wearing number 6 for the first time, he was more of a villain than anything. You know, he was out there being hated, one of the most hated basketball players throughout the time. Now he went to 23 with the Cavs, kept 23 when he came to the Lakers, won a championship under number 23. Then he decided, you know what, I'm going to go to number 6. And he went to number 6. And maybe when he was wearing number 6 has not been the best for him as a Laker. And, you know, I feel that the change of jersey number can really help him and, you know, kind of give him a different type of mindset and, you know, strength and confidence that can maybe help him out, and, a lot of the times a number thing like that is very, very important. I mean, it's the same thing that, LaMelo Ball went through when he was fighting since he entered the league. He's like, I want to be number one. I want number one. And once the Charlotte Hornets traded away, let Malik Monk, because Malik Monk, when he was playing with the Charlotte Hornets, Malik was number one, and LaMelo had to be number two. But once Malik left to the Lakers, that number one became available. LaMelo had to wait 1 year to get the number, then he got the number. But I mean, it happens throughout the league at times. It happens. The numbers do change a player. I mean, a lot of people want to say, well, it's just a number. I know it's a number, but that number, when you look down at your chest and it shows the number that you want to be looked at as of, that number is very important for every individual. So I hope that's important for number 23 and LeBron James. But there's one thing that's pretty important for Joel Embiid, which I think he is just talking nonsense. Joel Embiid is saying that the only thing on his mind is a NBA trophy, NBA championship, a Larry O'Brien. That's the only thing on his mind right now. He said whether he wins it in Philly or he wins it elsewhere. Those are the exact words that came out of his mouth. So, does that mean that he wants out of Philly? Would he chase a ring outside of Philly? Or does he want to leave Philly and does he just want to go play elsewhere? Does he want to stay in Philly and continue eating Philly cheesesteaks, which I wish I was in Philly right now eating some Philly cheesesteaks. But, I mean, honestly, I think Joel Embiid and Damian Lillard are the same thing. They're like from the same breed, it feels like, because they talk a lot. I mean, Joel Embiid, he is the league MVP right now. He won the MVP, even though he choked against the Boston Celtics, being up 3-2 in the series and losing 2 in a row at home. Joel Embiid is a lot of that talk. I'll show up, play great. He's hurt a few games and whatnot. But at the end of the day, they can never get over the hump of actually winning, getting to those crucial moments of, like, when you get to a Western Conference final or Eastern Conference final, you know that you've made it to a certain part of, like, excellence. Like, not every team, like, we've seen the Los Angeles Clippers be in the league for almost 50 plus years. How many times have the Clippers made it to the Western Conference Finals?
Defeated.
One time in 50 plus years. And they recently made it about 2 years ago, I think, when they lost to the Phoenix Suns. But it's very hard to get to those moments right there. Joel Embiid and Damian Lillard are not those guys. Like, both of those two guys right now, if you put them in the same team together, you might think that, like, whoa, wow, good team, great team. But they're not going to win you anything, those two right there. I feel like they care more about themselves and they care about the team. Because Joel Embiid has been with the 76ers for almost 10 years now, maybe 8-9 years. But he's been there for a long time. They cannot find a way. I mean, the combination of having Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, having guys come in and out. I mean, you had James Harden, who's scheduled a trade request not too long ago, so he wants out as well. Ben Simmons, not the best partner for Joel Embiid. So it's like, what's the problem really in Philly? Is it the front office? I don't think so. I think it's Joel Embiid. Like, if you give Joel Embiid so many different weapons, it's like if you're a chef and you're a cook, and I give you different ingredients every day, like, here, cook me something, and you can't cook me anything. Like, you give me the nastiest dinner of them all. It's like, I'm tired. Like, I'm going to get a new chef. Like, I'm going to get a new chef now. It's like, I'm tired of giving this chef the same ingredients and giving me the same shitty breakfast and dinner and lunch. Like, that's what I think Joel Embiid is. And Portland, be careful. Be careful, Portland, because Dame, he gave you some great years. Put your city on the map in some sort of way. But, I mean, you don't really owe Damian Lillard anything like that. You don't. This is a business at the end of the day. It's a business. All right? I'll see you guys next Tuesday here on The Breaks. Myself, Fredo Cervantes. Don't forget to catch The Breaks tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday with the rest of the crew. I'll see you guys next week.